Commanders Nation, welcome to the BBTHD Network. This is Commanders Talk, and I'm your host, T to the May, baby, back in the building for another episode of Commanders Talk. On this episode, can the Washington Commanders win the NFC East? We'll find out after my intro. All right, let's get it. All right, Burgundy Gold Nation, let's get into it. The Commanders finished last season with a 12-5 record. It was pretty good, and man, it was fun to watch too. But it wasn't enough to win the NFC East. We all know the Philadelphia Eagles won the NFC East with a 14-3 record and went on to win the Super Bowl, of course. Man, that sucks. The funny thing about the NFC East, it hasn't been a repeat champion in years. The last repeat champion was the Philadelphia Eagles, the 2003-2004 season. So will they repeat this year after winning the last year? I mean, the odds are slim. I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to say no. They probably won't win it. So let's take a look at the past 11 years to see who won the NFC East, all the past champions. Let's go back to 2014. 2014, the Cowgirls won. 2015, Washington won. 2016, the Cowgirls won again. 2017, the Eagles won. 2018, Cowgirls. 2019, Eagles. 2020, Washington won. 2021, Cowgirls. 2022, Eagles. 2023, the Cowgirls. And 2024, the Eagles won last season. So as you can see how it flip-flops in the NFC East. We don't know who's going to win the division this year. So let's take a look at the all-season moves by all the teams in the NFC East. And we're going to start at the top with the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the Super Bowl, very strong season last year. Let's see what moves they made in the all-season this season. Let's start with their draft. They actually had a monster draft, man. They had 10 draft picks. They addressed everything from the O-line all the way back to the defensive secondary. They were all over the place in the draft. And what you have to be, when you don't have a lot of cap space. So their draft grade was actually an A-. They did pretty well. They didn't spend a lot of money in free agency to help the squad, but they made their moves in the draft. So the Eagles actually lost a lot of players too. You got to look at the players they lost. They lost, they lost Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Mekhi Becton. Man, they lost some key players. A lot of them key dudes will help them win the bowl last year, and they lost them. So the Eagles, to me, in my opinion, might be a little weaker this year. They have a lot of questions. The one question I have for them would be, all those rookies, can the rookies and the veterans gel enough for them to repeat as Super Bowl champions? Probably not. But can they win the NFC East? I don't know. Probably not. They still got Barkley and they still have A.J. Brown. So them two dudes on the squad, you got a good chance. And they got a good quarterback. They got Jalen Stay Hurts. He's a good quarterback. And I'm sure the Eagles will be in the mix. They got a good chance of winning the NFC East. Let's take a look at the Cowgirls. To me, they had a terrible season last year. A lot of injuries. Dak Prescott got hurt. They finished 7-10. Awful season, man. They added about 9 dudes in the draft. They addressed the O-line with their first-round pick. They got that big dude from Alabama, Tyler Booker, the offensive guard. They addressed the O-line to help protect Dak Prescott. So, and that dude from Alabama is a real deal. He's a big boy. They also drafted Chevron Revelle, the corner from East Carolina. Now, that's one of the dudes I had targeted for the Commanders to pick. But we ended up getting Trey Amos, much better draft prospect, much better corner. So I'm not too worried about that. the Cowboy draft grade was actually a B+. Now in free agency, they didn't do much either in free agency. I don't know what Jerry Jones doing. He was probably asleep, most likely. He's so old. But they actually brought back their punter. Yay for the punter. Good job, Jerry Jones. They re-signed Dante Fowler Jr., the guy was with the Commanders last year and with the Cowboys the year before that. Whoopee. You know, he'll get you a few sacks. He ain't gonna do too much. I'm not too worried about him. Now, they did make a big move recently. I'm sure you heard. They made a trade for the wideout George Pickens from the Steelers. Now, that's kind of a big deal because if you put him on one side and CeeDee Lamb on the other side, that could be dangerous, especially with Dak Prescott back there throwing the ball. You know, he can air it out, so the offense might be dangerous. So that's another reason why I'm glad the Commanders picked Trey Amos to go with Marshawn Lattimore. We're going to try to shut that down. They do have a new coach. Now, the new coach is unproven. He hasn't proven a damn thing in the NFL. And a lot of teams passed on him, didn't even give him an interview. But Jerry Jones, of course, saw something great in the guy, picked him as head coach. Good job, Jerry. For the Commanders fans, man, we love Jerry Jones, man. We love his moves, I'm telling you. So I don't see the Cowboys winning the NFC East. I don't think they could, but I don't see it happening. I really don't. Let's take a look at the New York Football Giants. Man, this team is a mess. It's a mess. I believe they're in a rebuild mode. They act like they're not. You know, they signed a lot of players in free agency. They drafting. Well, they don't want to say the R word, the rebuild word, but come on, man, they in a rebuild, in a rebuild mode. And I don't even know, did they actually fire their GM? I'm not even sure. That dude should have been fired, especially after not re-signing running back Barkley. They didn't re-sign Barkley, which was an idiotic move, but then they gave the quarterback all that money and then end up cutting him. Man, that GM should have been fired. If he's not fired, there's something wrong with the Giants. That dude should have been fired. Then they should have sued him for malpractice. That dude was an idiot, for real. Yeah, they added 7 players in the draft. They did make another addition to their D-line, which is the strongest part of their team. Their D-line is serious. They drafted Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State. And that dude is serious. So their D-line is going to keep them in games, for real, but they can't carry it all. There's no way. There's no way. The offense is going to be terrible. They do have the wideout that they drafted from LSU, Jada Daniels' boy. But other than that, they don't have much going on. They did get a good draft grade. They got an A-, which was pretty good. They did sign a bunch of players in free agency. They signed a corner, Paulson, Abdebo. They signed a free safety, Javon Holland, and a wideout, Darius Slayton. So the Giants were busy this offseason. They were really busy, but they got so many question marks, man. They got a lot of question marks. First of all, the main question mark they have is quarterback. Man, they signed Russell Wilson. Man, that dude about 57 years old, man, still trying to play quarterback. He's not gonna get them nowhere. So the Giants might be in trouble. But the one thing they did do, they did draft a quarterback in the draft who's going to sit behind Russell Wilson and also Jameis Winston. Both of them stink. So hopefully, I hope the young quarterback they drafted won't depend on those two dudes for tutelage. Because you ain't going to make it. Them two dudes, they too old. They washed up. So, we'll see what happens with them. I don't see the winner in the NFC East at all. And now, you say the best for last. Your Washington Commanders. Man, they had a stellar offseason. They only had 5 draft picks, but that's okay. Because those 5 picks they made were very impactful picks, man. I think they're going to contribute to this team. They're going to contribute a lot day one. Number 1 pick, offensive tackle, Josh Connolly Jr. He's going to be a starter on that right side. 2nd round pick, Trey Amos. Already addressed it. He's going to be a starter opposite Marshawn Lattimore. Impactful picks. 3rd round pick, you have the wide receiver Lane, who's going to start in the slot and be returning your punts. So 3 impactful picks, man. I love what they did. In free agency, they added a bunch of impactful players as well. They brought back a lot of dudes. They re-signed some dudes. They brought in some new dudes. Javon Kinlaw, Will Harris, Jonathan Jones, the kicker, Matt Gay. Don't overlook that move. The kicker, man, the place kicker. Come on, man. Dietrich Wise, defensive end, and Bobby Wagner. That's my guy, man. The middle, still getting it done after all these years. They also made some trades. Don't forget the trades. Debo. That's all I gotta say. Debo. Come on, man. Laramie Tunsil on that left side, protecting Jaden Daniels. Great move, man. I'm telling you, the Commanders all season was great this year. Shout out to AP. Adam Peters, great job. He was in his bag this all season. He was doing his thing. Man, I love it. Now, the ace in the hole for the Commanders to win the NFC East. Number 5. Number 5, Jaden Daniels, man. We got the best quarterback in the NFC East. Haven't been able to say that in years. We have the best quarterback in the NFC East. He's going to keep us in games, hands down. We ain't got to worry about it. Now, the cool thing about Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury. The same system. You don't have to change offensive system. Kingsbury turned down head coach's interviews and everything to stay with the Washington Commanders. He sees something special here, just like we all do as Commanders fans. So that was probably the biggest move of the all season to me, was the fact that Cliff Kingsbury stayed. He didn't jump ship. And also we got Dan Quinn. You see the type of culture he's building here. You see it. You hear about it and you see it. Dan Quinn, he's a hell of a coach. The team loves him. The players love him. They want to fight for him. They do whatever it takes to win for him. They love that dude, man. So can the Commanders win the NFC East? Yes. I'm going to say yes. I think the Washington Commanders will win the NFC East this season. No doubt about it. And of course, people say, oh man, you just saying that. You on the bandwagon. You got a Commanders channel, whatever. Look, man, I'm trying to be real about it. I'm trying to be real. I think they're going to be the best team in the NFC East because the Eagles going to take a step back after winning that bowl. You win a bowl, man, you put your guard down. You seen the Rocky movies. When Rocky won that title, man, he had enough to train for until Mr. T whipped his ass. Then he had to make a comeback. So the Eagles, they're gonna take a step back this year, and the Commanders gonna take a step forward. They're gonna win that East. Trust what I'm saying. You heard what I'm saying. Mark that down, baby. We're gonna win the NFC East. All right, nation. That's the end of this episode, man. I appreciate y'all chiming in. Man, get in that comment section. Let me know who you think will win the NFC East. If it ain't the Commanders, hey man, let me know. Also, please bang that like button, bang the notification bell. Please subscribe. This channel right here needs your support, man. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you can, please donate to the machine. If you made it to the end of this episode, I owe you a drink, baby. Salute.